Rant time! Remember how I opened up my laptop to exercise the Bluetooth demons? Before that, I wiped my laptop and started over with a fresh install of Windows 10. Before that reinstall, whenever I would use OBS for streaming or recording, I used an encoder called NVENC. Heads up, this rant is about to have a lot of PC Master Race vernacular. So I used this encoder because it was the only one that gave good performance while recording or streaming. Here's how the system works. My desktop PC upstairs runs the game, then it streams to my laptop. My laptop then records said stream via the NVENC encoder in OBS. All this comes together to form lovely 60 frames per second game footage. Quick note, NVENC is an Nvidia thing. Now let's fast forward to after the Bluetooth ordeal. Once I install OBS, per necessity, guess what I find? There is no option for the NVENC encoder. The same Nvidia drivers are installed, and yet somehow that encoder option is just gone. And for the people who also ask this question on forums and such, because of course I Google it, anyone who answers just says you need the latest Nvidia drivers and Windows 10. I guess there are even more dark software spirits within my laptop. I guess this might be a good point to bring forth how I absolutely detest Nvidia and Intel. For one, I've never had any experiences with either company's products that has ever been consistently good. In comparison to AMD CPUs, Intel CPUs seem to be about half the power for twice the price. And guess what? With an Intel processor, you get the privilege of having bloatware in their integrated iGPU. And in my experience, neither of these have any meaningful function. Nvidia, well, basically, they're the EA games of GPUs. One example of this being Shadowplay. Shadowplay is basically a piece of software that's part of Nvidia's driver suite that allows you to record game footage. I've tested it out, and the footage is really good when it works. So there's this really cool feature that Nvidia adds to Shadowplay where you can record all the games they say you can. I mean, with the desktop version of their GPUs, you can do desktop recording, which I hear can get past that limitation, but if you're stuck with a laptop, there's no such convenience. So I guess Nvidia's idea of business is to lock off certain features so you'll buy more stuff from them. Not to mention the fact that they just lock off a bunch of features if you have any AMD hardware in your build. Is it not amazing how generous they are? If you want to fact check me on that last bit, please do so. Anywho, that's the reason why Intel and Nvidia will never see a speck of business from me ever again. That is, unless hell freezes over and Nvidia decides to fix their drivers and stop locking off things just because there's competition. And if that happens, I will genuinely be surprised. So thanks to all that, I have no real way to record games anymore, so I'm gonna be focusing on short films from now on. So look forward to that. That's really all I have to say for the time being, so as usually, thanks for listening.